The Philadelphia 76ers three-time All-Star Ben Simmons has been the hottest commodity in the NBA for the last entire year, with the interest generated in him in the past summer having carried on. And the Philadelphia Sixers have become the latest entrants in a long list of rebuffed buyers. In today's video, we'll be looking at the transfer saga revolving around the 76ers' Ben Simmons. Stay tuned! First, roadblocks on the trade. The president of basketball operations at the Philadelphia 76ers, Daryl Morey, has not been very generous with his words on the Ben Simmons trade saga while he deals with the rest of the trade market. Despite his relative silence, Morey has ensured that he communicates to the rest of the NBA teams that the 76ers will not part with Simmons easily. The 76ers have said that the only way they could be persuaded to part with Simmons is if they are getting an all-star in return to partner with Joel Embiid up front. There have been reports of one loophole in the apparent rock-hard stance of the 76ers that say the Sixers can be persuaded in trading Simmons to any team that will also take Tobias Harris, their veteran max forward, but there have been no way to verify the authenticity of any such news. No team, while trying to bring in another all-star, would want to part with their own all-stars and have been trying to feel out the 76ers, trying to see if they could be convinced to part with Simmons if they get several non-all-stars in return. Some teams have tried it and have been met with resistance. The Detroit Pistons tried the same approach unsuccessfully, approaching Philadelphia with a package of several non-all-star players. The Pistons had offered Jerami Grant, Saddiq Bey, Kelly Olynyk, and a first-round pick in a bid to convince the 76ers to part with Simmons, but the deal was not met with much interest from the higher-ups at the organization. Grant, although a promising player, is not much when compared to the likes of Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, and James Harden, who are the kind of players that Simmons might ideally be traded out for. Despite the appeal of a well-balanced duo of Olynyk and Bey to complement Grant, it does not match up to that of an all-star veteran partnering up with Embiid. Next, Grant, up for grabs? While Simmons is being portrayed as hard to get, the focus seems to be shifting to the next most sought-after prospect, Jerami Grant, with him being offered to the 76ers, sending out a message that he is on the market and up for grabs. 1 year on from Troy Weaver, the Pistons general manager, declining any inquiry into Grant being available for a trade, the NBA's in a frenzy to get him. According to sources, Detroit's now asking for 2 first-round picks or 1 first-round pick, along with a young player having a high upside. The Pistons are expected to play the long game, having faith in the attraction that the NBA teams have for Grant, who, according to the team strategist, fits everywhere. Several sources in the league see the Washington Wizards as favorites to land Grant, given that he hails from the DC area and that his father Harvey played for the franchise from 1988 to 1993 and again from 1996 to 98. The Wizards' first-year head coach Wes Unseld Jr. also coached Grant as an assistant with the Nuggets. Keeping in mind the Pistons' asking price, any deal offered by the Wizards would have to send either Denny Avdija or Rui Hachimura back to the Pistons, and Montrezl Harrell's expiring $9.7 million contract is seen as a possible way to make the salaries match, given that he is already trade available. Now, in other NBA news, Dwight Howard enters the top 10 for most rebounds. Some of the most stellar and glorious names in NBA history that make up the top 10 most career rebounds welcomed another name on the list, Dwight Howard. Howard's first rebound on game night against the Orlando Magic, the very same team that had way back in 2004 drafted him number 1, took him past Nate Thurmond for the 10th place among the NBA's all-time rebounding leaders. He might not be 10th for very long, with the 9th place within reach, as he trails Kevin Garnett in 9th place by less than 200 boards. Howard has managed to reach this milestone in his 18th season in the league on the back of the dominance he had imposed early on in his career upon entering the league fresh out of high school. The 36-year-old 6'10" baller has 5 rebounding titles, 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and 2 blocks titles to go along with his 8 All-Star honors, 8 All-NBA selections, and 5 All-Defensive nods. He filled up his trophy cabinet with most of these accolades as a young hotshot playing for the Magic, a stretch that includes a finals appearance in 2009 against the same franchise he plays for now, and with which he won a championship in 2020, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have been hoping Howard, nearing the twilight of his career, can inspire them in a similar fashion to bring some much-needed stability to the team going through a turbulent, inconsistent season. The Lakers went up against the Orlando Magic with a 22-23 record, which has them languishing in 8th place in the Western Conference. Josh Giddey achieved yet another NBA milestone, putting in a masterful appearance when he scored a career-high 21 points as the Oklahoma City Thunder lost to the Charlotte Hornets. The Australian teen has seen a marked improvement in his shooting in recent weeks. This has coincided with his emergence as one of the leading rookies in the NBA midway through the season. Against the Hornets, Giddey put up 21 points, shooting 10 of 17 from the field, while also coming up with 9 rebounds and assists. It was the first time the youngster has broken through the 20-point ceiling, having previously scored 19 points on 3 different occasions as he put in a new career-best points total. Giddey also put up a masterclass with his impeccable passing coming coming up with a couple of his trademark passing moments. He left the Charlotte defense hapless as he weaved his way through them before he served a deft wraparound pass to Jerome Robinson Earl for a wide-open three-pointer. Showing he could do it on either end of the court, he started a move by stealing the ball, going on to track down a wayward pass, and concluding by setting up a simple layup for Gilgeous-Alexander. Giddey had been the recipient of the Rookie of the Year award in Australia's National Basketball League in successive seasons before being drafted to the NBA, and then earlier in January, he became the youngest player in the history of the NBA to record a triple-double, breaking the previous record set by LaMelo Ball by 56 days. According to Giddey, it was an exciting prospect to share the court with a player who had paved the way for young players in Australia who are aspiring to make it to the NBA. Speaking after the game, he said that Bell was someone that had made his path, going through the NBL an easier experience. In stark contrast to Giddey's form, the Thunder have lost 4 games on the trot and are currently a lowly 14th in the Western Conference. Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets star, now faces fines from the NBA after he clashed with fans in the Nets' loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Irving has refused to be vaccinated against the deadly COVID virus, and the Cavaliers supporters in Ohio made sure Irving knew how they felt about his decision as the Nets crashed to defeat. Irving's outburst to the fan during the second quarter of the game was captured live on video when he reminded the fan in a profanity-filled statement that he had helped the Cavaliers win the NBA championship in 2016. He said, "Got you all a championship and mother effer still ungrateful," with the NBA reacting to the interaction from Irving, fining him $25,000 US. The Nets had further fines to deal with as their coach. David Vanderpool was fined $10,000 individually for intercepting a ball as the Cavaliers attacked in the game, with a $25,000 fine levied on the franchise. In Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, Irving had hit the winning shot over the Golden State Warriors, clinching the first, until now, last championship in the Cavaliers' 52-year history. The fine comes after an initiative taken by the NBA in a bid to clean up the excessive use of profanity among players. Recently, Kevin Durant, Irving's teammate, and Julius Randle of the New York Knicks have also been fined for using obscene language during interviews. 5 games into his debut season with the Nets, Irving has averaged a generous 20 points, a decent 5 assists, and 5.5 rebounds, all the while shooting 37% from beyond the three-point line. And that's a wrap for this video. Will the 76ers manage to get their desired All-Star in exchange for Ben Simmons, or will we see Simmons continue on at Philadelphia? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.